Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. Let me just move the camera a little bit here. And this is is it the second or maybe the third Friday fry up? Because as you know, I've changed the main show. The main show with Hogalish is on Wednesdays now because we needed Saturdays back. Lena needed her Sunday back. As well. So here we've got a Friday fry up for you. I've got your questions in. There are so many questions. So we've got a combination. So stick to the end. We've got some UK questions, some on Elon Musk, Gaza, Russia, and of course, USA. Lots to dive into this evening. So, I've had a long day. I'm quite exhausted. I'm just back from tennis, but then I was meeting friends earlier on in the day. So it's been a really long day. It's been very, very busy. Okay, so let's dive in. One of the first things I want to show you, though, now you guys will remember I've been saying this for years, and I've been saying, that I'm worried about the dollar being the reserve currency for the globe. Yeah, of course, we all know that the dollar is the reserve currency, but of course, with Duck-Larange, Trump's tariffs and all of that cray and all of that madness that he's been doing, that has shaken global confidence in the dollar. For those of you that watch my Hogarth's Financial Astrology channel, and I'll probably go more into depth in it on my financial video channel, because I need to make a video there. It's been a little while. I said that the crown of the free world, remember I was given a dream soon after the Zelensky debacle, where the crown of the free world, which was hovering over America, then moved over to Europe. And you guys that watch my financial channel, you will know that I compared the charts of the USA and the EU, and I said the EU is going to enter a renaissance. I think it was the day after I made that video, we had Ursula von der Leyen announced a big kind of funding for weapons and defense for Europe, which was very, very significant. And then Christine Lagarde, who is the leader of I think the European Bank or something like that, the ECB, European Central Bank, she is now saying that she believes that the euro can become the global reserve currency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. We won't go into depths reading through the articles and stuff, but I just want to show you some of the headlines that are there so you can see for yourself. So here we are. So European officials are making no secret of wanting the euro to seize upon wavering confidence in the US dollar. European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde said this week that a shifting geopolitical landscape could open the door for the euro to play a greater international role. Yeah. And then you can see some of the headlines here. CNBC, why Lagarde's euro ambition could be a threat to King dollar. Reuters, Lagarde's euro battle cry emphasizes EU cash need. And ECB's Lagarde say euro could be the viable alternative to the US dollar. And then Euro CT, that whatever that is, Euro, I don't know how to say that. Anyway, ECB's Lagarde pitches euro alternative to dollar in fracturing world. So I just wanted to show you that so you understand. Well, you guys know this already, but when I make my predictions, often many months or years in advance, you can see how reality sort of catches up. And we are in this phase, everyone, just to reiterate, we are in this phase of what? Reality checks. Have you noticed how more and more people, particularly those that voted for Duck-Larange, are getting these reality checks about now the chickens are coming home to roost, even though they were warned by everyone with sense and everyone was like, don't do this, you remember? Everyone's like, please don't do this. They still went there, and now the reality checks are being delivered. All right, so let's dive into the content. Let's see here. Someone's saying, Brenda C, so Elon is not leaving the White House according to 45. There's all sorts of mixed rumors there. We've got Deborah saying soggy in Pennsylvania. Sorry to hear that. Lilith saying good afternoon to all from rainy South Florida. So it seems America's getting a little bit of rain. We've had glorious sunshine here. Sorry, just to rub it in. But it's been lovely and not too hot as well. Let's see here. Sharon Saipi is here. Hi, everyone. Sending prayers, big hugs. Who else do we have in? Sharon Saipi saying, please hit the like button. Thank you, big hugs, and help the channel out. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sharon. Oh, Angela's here. Hello, Angela. And then what's this? Brenda C, reclaim your US flag. And yeah, many others here as well. So we're all going in the chat. Right. Let's start. We're going to dive in with UK. Those 2 questions for the UK this evening, and let's just see how that goes. All right. So this is coming from Maureen Pemberton. She says, "Hi Hogarth, I am very concerned about Tommy Robinson being released." Oh my God. So for those that don't know, Tommy Robinson is a British citizen that was locked up, I think, was it for perjury and stuff like that? But he's quite, far right, bit of a sketchy character. Elon Musk was asking that he be released from British jail. And even Farage was like, I don't think so. It seems he's been released. Oh, remember I've been telling you guys that Pluto is in sidereal Capricorn, yeah? It's all things to do with corruption, big business, government, all of that stuff. Dreadful, yeah? It's bringing that vibe of the 1930s. Anyway, I'm very concerned about Tommy Robinson being released. What will the future be for him in terms of politics / political influence? Good question. Would that make the UK more overtly right wing? If so, this is going to be a significant source of anxiety for so much of the population. Thanks in advance. Yes, it will. So, unfortunately, the far right is very well funded. Yeah, very well funded. And essentially what we have around the world is a stitch up, yeah, of the corporations and millionaires and billionaires mainly, that wish the world to be a certain way. And it's not about our freedoms, yeah, unfortunately. So let's take a look. Tommy Robinson, what's going on with him? And is it going to be influential in politics? I can't see how he's not going to. Oh, look at this. Look, do you see that? Yeah. I think he might make an impact, Let's look at the other cards. Oh, God, what a world we live in, huh? But the energy is shifting. Like I said, the momentum really is with Europe. Some financial warnings coming out of Japan. They're worried about Japan and the yen. China, of course, is doing well, but shifting, getting lots of deals in. Everything's happening everywhere all at once, just like that movie. All right, Tommy Robinson. So he's been released. Yeah, it will make an impact. Yeah, there will be people that will seek to rally around him, kind of keep the momentum going, so to speak. As you can see, the Ace of Wands is Ace is a yes cards essentially. So will he make an impact? Yes. But this is talking about brand new beginnings. This is probably how he's feeling now that he's been released. And he's going to try and make headway. Of course, you got Farage Bag, that is obviously always wanting to support those kind of like characters, even if Farage didn't give him support when Elon was asking. He's likely to make some kind of impact and influence. He is filled with ambition and basically wants to take a stick to the political world. Yeah. If we look here, we've got the king of, pardon me, the king of wands. Now, wands, of course, we know is associated with entrepreneurship, but wands also deals as well with initiating things, making things happen. Yeah. So I think he sees himself as a potential leader. Remember, wands is also the fire archetype as well, the element of fire. So he's looking to kind of make an impact and wanting to become a leader in some kind of way, which is a bit frustrating, and isn't it? If we look here, we get the Three of Pentacles, which is the card of what? Collaboration. So he's wanting to collaborate with others. This could be working with Farage or with Reform, etc. You know, this is all, I think this is about momentum. They see what's going on in the United States, the absolute undiluted douchebaggery that's happening there. And they kind of want to try and get a bit of that stuff going. If we look here, we got Stinky Fish. So as you know, this is the Page of Cups. This means an unpleasant message. Yeah, surprises, unpleasant messages. So they're just going to be spouting their bilge. Yeah, spouting their bilge. However, they do get the Temperance card as the outcome. So I'm not sure if the British people will be as taken in as say more of the far right acolytes are in the United States. It shows that there's still a level of measure here, but you know, most of those cards are actually positive. So I think he is going to make an impact. You know, these people become obviously symbolic, and then you've got the Tate brothers as well. Oh god, it's just absolutely chock-a-block with douchebags, isn't it? But these are the times that we're in. This is contrast, everyone. So yeah, the shadow gets darker, so the light shines brighter. This is very much what I'm doing as well, looking to do with my retreats in Ibiza. As you know, I found a place where I'm going to be doing them. It's going to happen. First one is 7th of November, 7th to the 10th of November, doing a whole new website, everything. That's all in the works, and I'll be revealing stuff like that soon. It's going to be very reasonable as well. There'll be payment plans and stuff like that, particularly those of you that might be fans of mine in Europe or, you know, a bit closer to home. Ibiza is really not that far. Only what, 2.5 hours on the plane from London. Europe is even closer. So do consider that. Do consider that. And oh, I've got some amazing images to show you, which are really jaw-dropping, but they'll be released nearer the time, my dears. All right, let's go to question number 2. Now, this is one about Gaza. Oh, we have to talk about Gaza. Just horrific what's going on over there. Absolutely horrific. So Manuela Orchid asks, hi, Hoagie. What do your cards say how the development in Gaza will be? Please have a look where the planets are for Gaza. I don't have the chart for Gaza. I didn't have time to. I've been out all day, so I would need to look up when Gaza was attempting to become a separate state. That would be the birth chart of Gaza. This has to stop. All these dead people. And what I read today, Israel Wabars. WABRS, I'm not sure, that must be a typo, to claim certain parts now and build houses on it. What? Question mark. So let's look into that. What's going on? God, you know, now that's the embargo. From what I understand, people are being starved. Children are starving to death. It's just an absolute horror show happening in front of the world's eyes. We all know what Trump and Netanyahu want. Remember, they were both in the video sunning themselves. You remember in that AI fever dream, yeah. But from what I understand, people in Israel are also protesting as well. So let's not put, of course, everyone all in the same basket. There are people within Israel that are protesting this. It's just horrific. It's just horrific. It's horrific genocide happening right in front of our eyes. All right, situation with Gaza, what's going on there? And obviously, you know, they want the situation to become so intolerable so that basically they can have the land and put real estate on it, really, isn't it? That's what they want. Oh. And for those watching, you may see an ad or two before you join this show. Just experimenting with things. Yeah, of course. So what we see here, this isn't so much about the Gazans. I think this is actually the plans. Yeah, the plans for Gaza. Do you see here the Three of Pentacles? This is the card of collaboration. Here you have the commissioner, maybe the manager, and then the person carrying out the work. But you can see here they're working on plans. So we know that Declarange and Netanyahu have plans for Gaza. They want to build real estate on it. You know, the videos out there, there's no denial about it. We know what they want, and they're working on the plans. They've literally got their architectural plans. So we want to make things as terrible as possible. If we look here, we see we have the Queen of Wands, and this is a reinforcing card in this instance. The Queen of Wands is about, again, remember, wands are about entrepreneurship. So there is a strong business angle here. This is also as well talking about bringing people together, having meetings. This is very much the Queen of Wands is very much a card of collaboration. So really they're collaborating on this. And there's this element here of secrecy or intuition with the black cat. If we look here in the middle, we have a male figure here. This is the King of Cups. This can normally talk about creativity, sensitivity, but this is a water card. Let's not forget, Gaza is on the waterfront. Yeah, Declarange says he wants to turn it into what, the Riviera of the Middle East, or whatever words he used. Yeah, he's building all of his Trump, you know, golf courses and hotels, obviously using the presidency for self-enrichment. So I think this is talking about the water element, or men that want that element of water. Yeah, they want those waterfront side things. But if we look here, look, these ideas, they're delusional. They're absolutely crazy. You know, this is happening in front of the world's eyes. But this is also talking about having too many decisions to make. I think this is also the confusion, the discombobulation as well. That's also potentially happening within Israel as well, as people also protest the situation there. Also shows the people in charge they've kind of lost the plot. They've really lost the plot. And what is it all about? Surprise, surprise, Nine of Pentacles, yeah, which is the card of what? Wealth, enrichment. But the shadow of this card is what? Vanity and moral bankruptcy. Yeah? So it's vain and it's morally bankrupt. What they're doing there is absolute disgrace. But such are the times. Nothing happens to these people now, isn't it? We can all see it, and it's just like, oh, look this way, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Yeah. All right, let's see who else is in the chit chat, and then we'll get to the next questions. Oh, what's this here? Oh, someone's saying here, Nora Garcia saying, hello, Hogarth. Was Valeria Marquez's murderer set up by her friends? She was the TikTok star gunned down on her live stream. What? Oh my God. I'll pull 3 cards. What's she called? She's called what? Valeria Marquez. Valeria Marquez. Gunned live on TikTok. I mean, what is the world coming to? Let's just pull 3 cards on that. I'm learning of this story, so I'll just pull 3 cards. If we get cards of betrayal and stuff like that, then we know that she was set up. But there's a lot of radicalism out there. And Generation X, they're saying Generation Z is much more conservative than the millennials. So let's see if there's any cards for betrayal here or shock. I'm just going to pull 3 cards, see what's going on. Oh, this is weird. Oh, wow. Okay. Here we get the Fool card. This card talks about a leap of faith. Yeah, a leap of faith. Knowing that the universe will catch you is normally seen as a positive card. However, this card can talk about immaturity or childishness, or not being aware of the consequences. So what this says to me is, I do not know this person at all. She's just been mentioned. But it shows there may be an element of naivety here. Maybe there was something kind of provocative about the content, and she may have underestimated just how much people didn't like it. Yeah, particularly when we see here, we've got the Emperor card here, which can talk about the patriarchy, conservatism, you know, the rules being imposed top down. So what this suggests to me is there's something here about male patriarchy that wasn't happy with her content, or some kind of male domination or control. There's an element there, but this is normally quite a socially conservative card as well. And then if we look here, look, there is this cup of Ace of Cups, which normally talks about joy, things overflowing. This could talk about the tears for her and the people that might be very traumatized and upset, especially witnessing this. But it can also show how her enemies are probably happy that she's gone. Unfortunately, it's something to do with patriarchy, control, maybe some kind of toxic masculinity or something like that. Yeah, because this is the masculine archetype card. Someone in control of a regime or a patriarchal structure probably wasn't happy. Yeah, and she may have underestimated the threat against her. And sadly, yes, there are the tears, but whoever got her is also pleased. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Very dark, that one, isn't it? Very dark. So let's see here. Carly Benov says, hello, Hogarth. Duck Larange is considering pardoning Diddy. Make it make sense. Oh, my God. Let's just put here. Trump to pardon Diddy. Question mark. Well, I'm going to read on that. With the make it make sense part, to me, it's actually quite obvious, yeah? P. Diddy, Epstein, and all of that lot were all like this. We're all like this. And Trump's a funny one, you know. I've said this privately to people, but look, we know that Trump is a cyst of all kinds, yeah? Racist, sexist, every kind of ist. Every kind of ist. But if there's one thing that he likes, it's people with money. You know, people with money. Obviously, P. Diddy is a man of color, and we know what this regime is all about. Look what's at the bottom, yeah? He's doing it to get P. Diddy out of a pickle because he understands that if P. Diddy goes down, then he could be implicated. Yeah, look at that. Look what's at the base of the deck. So part of it is self-interest. We know that people in the Latin community, he really doesn't give two you-know-whats about. And nor does he give a damn about his white voters as well in the red states. We've seen he's not going to give them any FEMA relief. He's bankrupting their farms with his tariffs. And then he's shipping in, you know, white South Africans onto their farmland. You know, this is a gigantic FOFA, isn't it? Devastating for a lot of people, but shouldn't have gone there, man. You know, they were warned. Should not have gone there. And in a way, he's defending his own, yeah? He and Diddy would have been at all those parties as well. If Diddy goes down, that could reflect very badly on him. So I think his part of it is just self-interest, really, to be honest. And Trump likes people with money. Yeah, if you're rich, you know, you can buy one of his golden things or come to his golf courses, you know. That's what Duck Larange is all about. All right, Diddy and Duck Larange, what's going on? Oh, a bit kind of going off the beaten track here with these questions. That weren't part of the plan, but that's the wonder of live shows. And if you've not done so yet, please, of course, be sure to like and subscribe. Remember, subscription is free, like this video, but it really helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. Let's see if I can get to 30,000. Yeah, I'm at 27 and loose change now. Well, 27, 28, but it would be nice, wouldn't it? It'd be nice, be a nice landmark. Right, Diddy. Oh, look who's back for the third time. This. Right. Queen of Wands is back. Because this card has a lot to do with social gatherings. Yeah, they were at the same social gatherings with Epstein and the parties and all that stuff. And of course, it's a little bit of a secret, but it's really an open secret. We can all see the black cat. Yeah, we all know what went on. Yeah, it's all there. So it is definitely a gathering, social gathering. That's something they have in common. If we look here, we have another queen. I have a feeling now this can talk about women with dark hair or darker complexions. Yeah, I think this is Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, I think this is Ghislaine. She's obviously in prison. We know that. But look, holding the cards, keeping everything there. It also shows as well that in with Diddy as well, there's a strong female connection there. We know that he is obviously, you know, abused, you know, females. And I think poor oh, what's his face? Bieber. Yeah, poor Justin Bieber. Yeah, but look, we can see here there's an anchoring of females' feminine energy. So that could be the women that are exploited, but it could also show maybe there might be some that are even protecting, orchestrating behind the scenes. Look at this. Three of Pentacles comes back. So you see collaboration. This would suggest to me that Duck Larange is working behind the scenes to try and basically get Diddy pardoned, because he doesn't want basically Diddy to be in court having to divulge every, you know, secret under oath or whatever, or he may bargain to try and get his sentence down. Yeah, so there's collaboration there. We have the massive kind of wake-up call. And this is literally, you know, the judgment, the proclamation. So we'll see if Trump is gonna declare, and then someone walks away and leaves. Is it the case that Diddy manages to walk away from justice? I hope not. We'll have to see. Or is it that he gets the judgment? Yeah, he's convicted, and other people basically abandon him. But I think Duck Larange is going to try. Yeah. See the card of collaboration. Duck Larange is going to try and save him. Sees him as one of his own, even though we know what assist he is. He sees Diddy as part of his own, part of his club and social circle. Wow. My God. You can't make this stuff up, can you? Let's see here. What's this here? Hello, Kaylee. Hello, Hogarth mods and all in the chat. She says, are the 500,000 immigrants going to be deported? They're going to give it a try. I'll pull 3 cards. Oh my God, I'm on 500. What's it? Was it? Did you say 500,000? Yeah, you said 500,000. Wow. 500,000 immigrants. Now, what's going to be happening now? Going to be deported. Remember as well, a lot of people are self-deporting, because if they stay, they get sent to bloody ICE, don't they? Well, they get sent to El Salvador. And thank you for those joining me right now. There's 440 of you here right now, so thanks so much. I love my Thursday Fright, but I think I just had to give a bit of space between the Wednesday show and the Thursday show. Also as well, for me to rest up a bit. Ah, my elbow is hurting today. I've got a bit of tennis elbow going on. All right, let's see here. Oh God, will they be able to do it? 500,000. Whether or not they'll be able to actually deport 500,000, I'm sure that is the quota. But just the fear factor alone, and we know now that he's not deporting criminals. So all these people that were like, Trump, yeah, oops, yeah, deporting grandma, granddad, aunts, uncles, families being, it's just awful. It's just awful. Oh, ooh, oh dear. Thanks for the question. This is pretty grim, guys. All right, here we go. 8 of Pentacles. They are working on it. They are really working on it. This is the card of hard work, hard graft, study, working towards a goal. Really, this is very much a card of manifestation, trying to manifest something. Yeah, you can see they're grafting away. So yeah, they are really working on it, and they're prepared to put the resources in as well. They really want to do this, and they are sort of doing this. Look what comes in. Next card. The devil, as if we didn't know. Yeah, but here we can see the dark intentions, the dark forces at play of this ice, which of course is infiltrated by the likes of Proud Boys and any other kind of wannabe sort of far right person that wants to cut their teeth, you know, being wicked and cruel. But this is the card as well of corruption, yeah, mental illness, moral bankruptcy, psychopathy. Yeah, there's a lot of these people doing this are psychopaths, yeah, sociopaths and psychopaths. If we look here, if just in case we weren't sure, look, the death card again. This is a combination you never ever want to see, ever. What this says to me is this could even go as far as, oh, I don't even want to say it, but extermination camps and things like that. This regime is very, very evil. Very. Yeah. I know at times, you know, we try and give comic relief on our shows and stuff like that. But when you get these two together, no. That is really, really wicked stuff. If we look here, you're still going to have people trying to hold on, you know, battle weary. I think this is also talking about the people that voted for Trump, actually. Yeah, they're feeling beat about the head. They're feeling betrayed, even though he was talking about the tariffs from ages ago. There was a lawsuit against the tariffs, and then the appeals court blocked it. Yeah, because it's all part of a regime. It's all part of the plan. Project 2025, they're wanting to replace these American farmers with, you know, with white South African farmers. It's really obvious. Why else are they importing these people, calling them refugees when there's no genocide? So I think this is also talking about the electorate, people feeling battered. Every day there's exhausting news. This is the battle for survival. And we know that that bill, the big, beautiful bill, he's calling it, is in the Senate. And if they vote for that, then it's just awful. So if we look here, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is talking about a lot about fate. Yeah, the wheel is turning. A lot of people do not feel like they are in control of their lives. So whether or not they'll get to 500,000, that might be their goal. But they're probably, the way they're going to do it, they're going to get people to self-deport. Essentially, I think that's how they're doing it, by creating the fear. Yeah, the fear and you know, death. Literally, they are so dark. Oh my god, sorry about that question, but there we go. Right, let's move on to, we've got a question here on Russia. So we're doing on time. Who else is in the chat? Thank you, Sharon's posting my social media links. Oh, Edie's here. Hello, Edie. And then what else? Who else do we have here? Mixie Nix is in. Hello. And she says, catching a live for once. Yeah, it's nice to see you here. And then Angela's saying, yay, great question. Oh, GB questions. Yeah, a bit more to come. GB news. Well, not GB news, but news on GB. And saying here, Mary's saying, is Elon really turning on Trump, or is it a smoke screen? Well, I did say the relationship will be breaking down around about this time. And I said, you know, that essentially Elon would be leaving, but that was on my financial astrology channel. I think also as well, when I made the predictions on the, when I cast the chart for the inauguration. So this is, we're talking back in around 20th of January. So take a look back through my archive, take a little look. And also as well, remember I was talking about his addiction. So when we get the Elon Musk question, we'll look into that. I might just pull up his chart. So let's quickly look at Germany. So Nick Mink says, I think Germany is on the verge of allowing Taurus missiles to be used to target Russia. Would this escalate things, or would it see Russia back down? So let's take a look. Oh, almost 500 of you now. Thanks so much for joining me, folks. And if you see an ad, just count to 11 seconds. Really helps the channel. All right, Russia, Germany missiles. Will this escalate? Or... So if we see things like the Chariot, which is about moving at pace, that this could escalate things. Or the Magician will show manipulation. Ooh, you will not believe the card that has come back. This is crazy. This is really strange. Right, okay, anyway. So if we look here, Patinchka's in a bit of a quandary here. Yeah, he's not liking the options on the table, and we've got this one coming out of the sky. This can also as well show Europe thinking outside of the box, taking the more left field option. Yeah, so it's showing that Putin's not liking the options, and it's also showing that Europe is, you know, taking a different stance. At the end of the day, Dr. Larange and JD Vance have made it absolutely clear that we as Europe are on our own. Yeah, the Zelensky thing was the crossing of the Rubicon. That's when I had that dream. So Europe are like, yeah, we may not like the options, but we've got to go for it. If we look here, we have the King of Pentacles. This could actually talk about Putin. Putin is the richest man in the world, by the way. Yeah, you'll never see it officially said, but he has the resources of all of Russia. Putinshka has been a trillionaire for years. Yeah, he just goes, yeah, but he's been there. This is him. Yeah, so this is talking. Yeah, it is difficult. Look at this. We get the 8 of Cups. Yeah, the card of having to walk away. You know what? I'm going to start using next reading. I'm going to use another deck that I've not used in a while. But yeah, there is an element here. It could be that if Europe puts enough pressure, because let me tell you this, we know the economy is in trouble. Putin's troops are very depleted. We know that. China is only going to help so much. They're already in a trade war with the USA. Russia cannot defeat Europe as well on top of this. Yeah. If we look here, there's the card of impoverishment. So there is an element here. I think Putin's struggling with the money. Yeah, I think he's really struggling with the money. And then look, Queen of Wands is back. Card of passion, the card of collaboration, bringing people together. I think this is talking about Europe. So, but this is a very congenial card. So Europe might find a way where Putinshka can step down and save face. I think that will be the thing. All right, let's take a look at Elon Musk and the whole drugs revelation. Mixinix is saying Ibiza, Vedic during the day, party dancing at night. Well, yeah, I mean, but it's very spiritual, you know, Ibiza. It's got this real ancient, deep spiritual side to it, which I love, which is great for the astrology. Deborah is saying, I appreciate you, Hogarth, always good insights. Thank you. I appreciate you too, Deborah. Thanks so much. Deborah's saying Taco currently in town, so that means Duck Larange, yeah? What's this? Mixinix says, apparently Israel has demanded the last hospital in Gaza is evacuated. Oh, God. Layla G saying, how long did you say Pluto and corruption was going to last? Please don't say much longer. You probably don't want to know the answer to that, yeah? It's still only at 9 degrees of Capricorn. Basically is going to move out in 2040. Yeah, doesn't mean it's going to be all like this up until that point, but we need to deal with this as humanity. We need to exercise this. We need this glaring in our faces so we make the changes. This is why I'm doing my retreats, to educate people about the stars, to bring up, yeah, up the vibration, up the energy, up the consciousness, to try and, you know, do my bit to help humanity move as we go more into this Dwapara Yuga, yeah, this age of energy and higher consciousness. I really want to kind of combine, you know, arts, music, science, technology together, things to help the oceans, Gaia. As dark as things are, you have to, you know, you have to push back. Yeah, you have to push back with more light. Yeah, not less, more. Educate, illuminate, inspire, help people lift up. Yeah. So let's look at Elon. That's my little mantra anyway. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So Nick Minks again says, I see that the muskrat has been outed for drug use while in the White House. What do the cards show for his health? And here I am using, what's this deck called? Manzel's Tarot 2. This is a absolutely exquisite deck. I don't use it enough. And I just feel like, but they're very moody. The artwork is exquisite. But for Elon, now look, it's been known that Elon has been on ketamine and all sorts of drugs for ages. And now they're just reporting it as if it's news. But, oh well, there we are. The wheel has turned. And the nodes of the moon have changed as well, guys. They're now in sidereal Aquarius and sidereal Leo. Rahu is in sidereal Aquarius. K2 is in sidereal Leo, which means everyone is changing. If things are changing again, 18-month energy, I'm having a nodal inversion. I'm having Rahu go over K2, K2 go over Rahu. And this is why my life is going in such a different direction. All right, Elon and his drug use. What do the cards show for his health? I mean, he's a nutcase. You know, he's a Nazi, nut-bagging, drug-taking, addled douchebag. But it's in his chart. You guys look back at my deep dives. I think where I did my little oligarch series, only 2 oligarchs in there, but I looked at Elon and you can see the drugs in his chart. I showed it the 12th house activation and the 8th house activations, particularly Rahu in the 8th with Mars. Very extreme. But his Mars is also exalted, which helps with the technical stuff, but also makes him extremely cruel with that Rahu there. Exalted Mars on its own, that's good. Mars with Rahu, not like that. All right, let's take a look. His health. Oh, I love this deck. I need to use it more. Look at the sumptuousness of these cards. So if we look here, his health, 7 of Cups. Yeah, 7 of Cups. Which is the card of what? Delusions, illusions, delusions. In the traditional deck, it's the man standing there with all of the, looking at all the crazy stuff coming out the pots. Yeah, this talks about Elon's addled brain and mind. Yeah. The intoxication that he has, yeah, these intoxications, you know, the fact he can't think straight, and the fact that he's admitted, I was just saying, someone saying that he admitted that he carried around these different pill cases. He said the ketamine was affecting his bladder. Apparently it shrinks the bladder, ketamine. So this is him addled, you know, confused. And just in case we weren't sure, look who's back. The devil. Yeah, so we can see, remember this card talks about corruption, but it doesn't just talk about corruption. It also talks about addictions, psychological, being psychotic, narcissistic, being a sociopath, yeah, psychopath, that kind of stuff. So we can see here, this is come together with the card of intoxication, illusions and delusions. So he is deeply psychotic. He's a very disturbed man. Very disturbed is Elon. If we look here, look at the Hierophant. Now these cards, you see how dramatic they are. Look at that. So the Hierophant, of course, talks about rules, regulations, traditions, but this is also talking about kind of spiritual doctrine as well. He has got an ideology. Yeah, it's a weird, messed up ideology, but here he has an idea. It's almost a religious fervor that he has, wanting to get to Mars, wanting to create his liege, yeah, his legion. He says he wants to create 3,000 children, have them as an army. He's obviously going to chip them as well with his chips and all that stuff. He's a nutcase. Like, really, he really is unhinged, even for Duck Larange. I'm sure Duck Larange is tired. Here you are. We see the Hanged Man here. So he is suspended. He's strung up. He's not making progress. Although he's managed to kind of carve out and steal all that data, he has lost around about $100 billion. Everything Trump touches turns to ash. All these men, these stupid, silly men that think they can control Duck Larange, and he just chews them up, double crosses them, throws them under the bus. The only ones that can control Trump are Putin and the Saudis. Yeah, that's about it. They're the only ones where you see him like, yeah. So basically, Elon has been strung up, but he's done this to himself. He's done it to himself, and you know, Tesla and all the Zig Heils and stuff. You know, it's his own fault. But look here. We have the High Priestess. Gosh, look at this card. It's so evocative, isn't it? So we have the High Priestess here, which can talk about machinations, secret agendas. He's not getting spiritual, of course. This is about possible secret agendas for revenge. I think this is what he's planning to do with the data that he's harvested and who he's sold it to. Yeah. And also as well, the Handman can talk about a changed perspective. So he's seeing things differently, but he's a disturbed man. Yeah. Devil and the card of disillusionment, 7 of Cups. Weird guy. Weird guy. All right. So that's Elon. Let's see how we're doing on time. Not too bad. Squeeze in a few more. All right. Let's see who else is in the chat. Alison saying aloha from Hawaii. Wow. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Iowa in the house. Chemical Squirrel. What a great name. And then Layla G is saying, I actually feel like I'm learning something when I watch you, Hoagie. Thank you. Much appreciated. I'm glad. Right, let's speed on. So that was Elon. Ashley has asked this. So question, what truths are poised to be unveiled, causing upheaval and acting as a catalyst for change? So in many ways, the way I would answer that is, it's happening already. Yeah. Do you see what has happened since Saturn has basically moved into sidereal Pisces and that eclipse? Do you remember the eclipse energy? So just before he moved in, there was the solar eclipse in sidereal Pisces, which talks about leaders, etc. And Mercury was retrograde and debilitated in Pisces. And what did we get? We got signal gate. Yeah. Now, of course, we're now getting these reality checks. The shadow of Pisces deals with illusions and delusions, but it also deals with secrets, scandals, yeah? But Saturn is the planet of reality. So now we're getting this reality check where people are really starting to see truths. Those people that were completely misguided and believed that Trump was going to be helping them with the economy, what are they saying now? Yeah? What are they saying now? You know, not much. So let's just see. So many truths are being exposed, but how many people are listening is also another matter. Yeah, it's all there. And it's not just the USA. I mean, look at that with Macron getting slapped and shoved in the face by his wife. His wife, who is just, she's just on the edge. I think she's a woman on the edge of a nervous breakdown, quite literally. Let's see what's going on here. Secrets. I think these cards are very good for talking about secrets, things that are deeper underneath. Let's take a little look. Wow. Okay, this is interesting. All right, so we got the Five of Cups. So this talks about 3 cups being spilled over, but, you know, another 2 are standing up. This is also a card of feeling of betrayal, sense of loss. Yeah, so I think this is really how the whole world is reacting, particularly people in America, as, you know, the realities dawn. Think of all of you that didn't even vote for this. Yeah, didn't vote for this, and you haven't been dragged through this douchebaggery. Yeah, so there's that. If we look here in more of the obstacle position, we have the King of Swords. The King of Swords can be very astute, very analytical, very proper, but he can also be very cruel. So we're seeing, that's the shadow interpretation. So we're seeing a lot of cruelty out there from people in leadership, because the first card was challenging. If we look here, we get the 10 of Swords. Oh, yeah. This is the card of endings, of betrayals. A lot of people feel like they've been stabbed in the back, even though it was obvious, yeah, what was going to happen. But nonetheless, now it's happening. Imagine if you voted for Trump and you're now part of the cohort that is being deported and all that stuff. And even if you didn't, yeah, this is all happening. Wow, 600 of you now. So yes, that sense of betrayal, being stabbed in the back. And as more and more revelations come out. However, we do see the 6 of Cups come out. And the 6 of Cups is normally a card of nostalgia, looking back to the past, you know, order being restored and stuff like that. So it's quite a hopeful card. And then we have the 10 of Cups here, which is like the family, you know, reunited, if we remember the original interpretation. So what it says to me is, I think this is the period of reckoning. Yeah, this is the period of reckoning, where we got the cups that are spilled, the cruelty, yeah, that is being dished out, and that sense of betrayal, endings. You know, this is going to be a lot of endings for a lot of people. I know that sounds grim, but it's almost like it has to get that dark for people to wake up, yeah, to want to go back to a sense of values and family and belonging. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. But in terms of these truths being exposed, everyone is getting the reality check. Yeah. So let's see. I can squeeze in a couple more. There's one on Farage bag. Here we go. So Nick Minkster says, afternoon, mini flumper Farage has decided to follow and say he'll introduce Doge in the UK. He can go drown himself. Does his chart show any chance of him becoming PM? But do the cards show that the UK voters are wise enough not to fall for this BS, love and light? So I want to go back to my usual. Farage. He is a major political opportunist. He's extremely cunning, charismatic. He has a very charismatic voice, which lures in a lot of people. But I think we're on to him in the UK. But we'll see. Remember as well, part of the reasons why these people get in is because they're dissatisfied with what went before. You know, the Tories, 14 years of austerity. Labour haven't really shone. They're yet to prove themselves in any significant ways. I think they've just done an arms deal with Saudi Arabia, of course. Farage bag. He even admitted that Brexit didn't work. Cambridge Analytica was a big part of that. Zuckerberg with his Facebook ads. You know, a lot of people are culpable for that Brexit. Oh, all right. The way the cards just keep repeating. All right, here we go. Farage wants to set himself up as an institution. He wants to become part of the political establishment. Yeah, this is him wanting, he's wanting reform, you know, to basically, you know, become the government. Yeah, this is the card of government, legacies, building a legacy. It's got all the generations of one family on one card. So Farage Bag really wants to build a legacy for more of the right movement, the movement to the right in the UK. Yeah. Look who shows up in the obstacle position. Oh, surprise, surprise. We got Mother Russia. Yeah. Russia is here. You know that the Empress is my card for Russia. So this shows as well that there is still elements of Russian backing, money behind this, Putinshka, some oligarchy, etc. Yeah, behind the scenes there. If we look, we get, look, the Wheel of Fortune is back. So it's talking about this is a time of fate and destiny and rapid change in the UK. They say we are rapidly moving from a two-party system to at least a three-party system. If we look here, look, he gets the Four of Wands. And normally I associate this card when talking about the States with the White House, yeah, but this is about reaching a landmark. This can also talk about the political houses. This could be, you know, the Elysee Palace, for example. If we're talking about France, this could be 10 Downing Street, yeah. So if we look at that, it's in the mix, yeah. Wheel of Fortune with reaching a landmark. As you know, I say what I see. I say what I see. Sometimes the cards may not make sense at the time, or people may not agree, and then they come true, don't they? So if we look here, look at this. The Emperor, the High Priestess is back again. So this is talking about machinations behind the scenes. Basically, we've got Farage Bag is working with oligarchy. Yeah. And they could be, they don't necessarily have to be Russian, it could be any oligarch, because this is one of the richest cards in the deck. This one, the Empress, the Emperor, but the Empress in particular, I consider the richest card in the deck. So this can talk about oligarchy and look, machinations, secret agendas to help Farage reach a landmark. So there's a threat. He could do it if enough people vote for him. I hope they don't. But he's got big money behind him, big money, unfortunately. All right, let's do one more in the USA, and then I'm going to close up. Nick Minks again saying, anyone else feel the regime is starting to resemble Dr. Evil and his goons from Austin Powers? If only it was funny. I agree. Prediction by astrologers / card readers indicates some stability will come, but do cards right now show if the clown show will get worse for foreseeable future? Well, it's almost certainly going to get worse, isn't it? We just have to see if the, you know, the courts are trying to give the courts some credit. Even the Trump judges are going against Trump, and then it goes to the appeal court and they overturn it. So obviously they are the project, you know, 2025 people, hardcore. The world. All right. The regime. Will it get worse before it gets better? Let's just see. Let's just do a read on the regime. And then you've got that frigging fascist Barbie. You know, the Caroline, what's her face? God. Standing up there with a crucifix down her décolletage as if she has Christian values. Oh, look what fell out. You know, as if. Wow. Oh. Ooh, this is interesting. This is interesting. The Fool card is back, but this, I think, is talking about the. Remember, this card can talk about foolishness, naivety, not looking before you leap, not understanding or being able to anticipate the consequences of something or someone. This is the voters. Yeah. These are the ones who voted for Duck L'Orange. Yeah. Taking that leap, you know, the FOFA kind of stuff. Now they're finding out. Yeah. They've fallen off the cliff. Bang. Hitting hard, because this dog can be seen as encouraging. It's the companion, but it's also warning the Fool. And you see how the Fool here is looking up and out, not looking at that drop. Yeah. If we look here, in a way, this is the regime. This is kind of them planting and wanting to reap what they've sown. Yeah, the voter is reaping what they've sown. For them, it's a bitter harvest, but this also shows this has been in the planning for a long time. You know, the Project 2025, they've been plotting this since Biden won his election. Yeah, so they're wanting to see that return. Look who shows up, the star card. As we know, this is a very positive card, but when I'm reading politically, particularly on Duck Orange, how many times does this card come up? The shadow of this card is the narcissist. This is Duck Orange himself. If there is any upside to this, it means as things deteriorate and go, you know, belly up, I was going to use another term, belly up, it means it's going to be attached to the narcissist. Yeah, this is very much about Duck Orange and his image and how he wants to project himself. Lights, camera, action. He wants all the attention. As you guys know, I've said for years now, if we want Trump to go away, he has to be ignored, but he's almost impossible to ignore now. But this is him. But so look at the reaction to him. People do start walking away. I think a lot of the voters, yeah, a lot of the voters that voted for Duck Orange, they're either walking away or it's because they've deported or they've had to self-deport as well. This is also the farmers realizing what's going on, and what exacerbates it? Poverty. As people lose their livelihoods, as they lose their businesses, it's already happening. He's getting rid of what? Food stamps. Yeah, he's getting rid of SNAP. He's wanting to get, if that bill passes, they're going to get rid of Medicaid, Medicare, Medicaid. The veterans stuff has already been whipped away. So a lot of people are going to have to endure poverty. And I'm not sure which order it came out, because remember, this one slipped out. So it could be that it's the poverty comes and that's what makes people walk away. Either way, they are interchangeable. That's what's going to make them leave Duck Orange. Yeah, they're reaping a bitter harvest for the foolishness. Yeah, for not wanting to see, even though they were being warned. Yeah, this little dog here can also give the warning, barking, saying, beware. And they didn't listen. Yeah, because they thought it was going to make them more money. Yeah, but instead it's a bitter harvest that Duck Orange is delivering to them, and it's going to be poverty. He's delivering them poverty. Those farmers, they're going to be replaced by the ones they're importing from SA. Literally, it's there. Why else have they been given refugee status, yet Americans are being deported? They need to join the dots. Yeah, and then they, you know, they walk away. So financial ruin is what's going to kind of wake. It's good. That's the only thing that's going to break the spell around Duck Orange, if it's not broken already. But it's been very foolish, very costly. What I feel sad for is the people that did not vote for this. Millions of people did not vote for this. Millions more didn't even bother. Yeah, now look. Oh, such is life, you know. Folly, innit? Human beings, eh? Human beings, the silly things that we do. Anyway, I will leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's just scroll down, take a little bit more look at the chat. What's this? Someone's saying, I just wanted to know what I missed. You can catch me on the repeat. 631 of you here with me right now. Thank you. That's really nice of you to join me. Let's just see here. Let's close with this. Maybe KR. The cult are really into projecting themselves, not willing to see what the other side is not the problem, and they wonder why it stays shitty. Yeah, they just don't want to see it. And then Brent Travis says from the Bard, what fools the mortals be. Yeah, I'm often looking at humanity and just going, this is so ridiculous. Oh, we're such ridiculous creatures, aren't we, on a certain level? Not all of us, of course. And Carmela is saying, thank you, much appreciated. I will leave it there, and I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to go on too much. We're 4 minutes past the hour. Thank you so much for joining me. Please, of course, be sure to like and share and subscribe. Let's help this channel grow. Yeah, let's see if I can get to 30,000. Can I get there, please? It would be nice, wouldn't it, to hit that landmark, especially with my nodal inversion. That has some thank yous here. Thank you all. Kristen is saying, Thank you, Angela's saying. Thank you, guys. Stay safe, stay safe, everyone. Dina. Ah, and what's this? Some more thank yous. Thanks so much, guys. And then Lilith is saying, thanks, so guys. Have a good weekend. Yes, I will do. And I will top her off. So thank you guys for all of the support. Let's keep going, one foot in front of the other. But remember, Ibiza, I'm taking up the challenge. Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. I'm literally, channeling the light. I've got some amazing photographs to share with you guys. And, just doing that bit, As the dark gets darker, the light has to get brighter. And I think people are stepping up to the plate all around the world. So, the light is shining brighter as the darkness tries to get darker. So let's see how things play out. Anyway, I will leave it there. I've gone on enough now. All right. Bye-bye for now, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. Big love. All right. Bye-bye.